Hello, and welcome to the first session of Blades in the Dark Silkworms. We are here today with a little bit of a different cast, but we do have some recurring players from last session, and we'll start there. So, Ryan, why don't you introduce your character to us?
I'm Sev Razor Malloy, who's a very cold, pale, precise Akarosi woman. Leech, who specializes in tinkering with bodies, or in this instance, much more in attempting to build a robot ghost cat with smushed together souls inside it.
Yeah, you're trying to build the greatest hull ever made, and have gone to some lengths to do so. And you still don't have any trauma, right?
No, I don't have any trauma, but I've got loads of stress, so trauma may be in the cards.
Yeah, hey, you can trauma out. Great. Um, all right, next, Lauren, who are you playing?
I'll be playing Leonora this session. She is now she is a rather vicious woman called Calculating Spider, who in the last session got shot in the leg. And I like to think in the session she missed, she was just recovering from that and is probably sporting a nice cane or something that she uses to like get around on now. And I think when she came out of her R&R and what happened, she's just like, oh my god, guys, like I take one break and this is what happens, kind of thing. Her speciality is she does ghost contracts because she's a lawyer. And she's rather tattooed in all of the ghost contracts that she has going on, one of which is with Lucas, who is a dick. And she's currently, well, she was trying to figure out a way to kill him, but I think given what's happened, that's kind of a low priority right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
All right. Good stuff. And yeah, if you want a really fancy cane, I'll get you to make a lifestyle roll for that.
Oh, perfect.
But we'll see.
Really bad right
now. All right. And next we have Brendan. Who are you playing? We have a character coming back into our group from a long absence.
So I'm playing Carlin Blair, or Cuckoo, the spider. Tall, like 6'8", lanky and hunched, red-headed Skovlovian, local born to Dustfall, however, who used to work in the sewers and is basically now just the equivalent of like a small American town politician running for mayor. That sort of low-level backstabbing and undercurrent, but still presents as someone wholesome.
Yeah, and so you had like a background in labor, right?
Yeah, used to work in the sewers.
Yeah. So maybe that'll be a good place to hide. And we'll talk a little bit about what you've been doing in the meantime since we last saw you, which I believe was our session 0. So it wouldn't have even been broadcast. But you've had your influence on the crew in your absence. So yeah, we'll see what you've been doing and how you kind of get caught up in this nightmare scenario we're in here. And Ari, who are you playing?
I am playing the cart, Tykerosi Whisperer, who happens to be possessed by the demon Satara and is in league with Lord Skurlock, trying to gain occult power.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe so badly traumatized by this possession, he may end up getting killed over time.
And did you take trauma last session? Was that correct?
I think, yes.
So what's your trauma condition here?
Wait, hold on a second. No, I don't have any trauma. I have stress almost maxed out, but no
okay,
trauma.
you just got possessed, right? Yeah. The minor thing.
Yeah, just another day in the park.
Right, but you will trauma, like you're gonna take trauma immediately as soon as we start playing because you're possessed.
Right.
So, well, I have to check that to see if it's at the beginning of the downtime or the end of the downtime. But yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So the scenario we have right now is that in the previous session, the Silkworms raided the headquarters of the Spirit Wardens, who are the sort of elite faction of Whispers that are employed by the Empire to keep ghosts under control inside of the main cities of the Empire. And they're very like Judge Dredd type characters. They just sort of wantonly interfere in people's lives and no nonsense go around destroying spirits. They also happen to do some spirit experimentation and shady stuff inside of their base, but I don't think you really got into that too much. You went in there, you encountered the Master Warden, Lug, the Stevedore and Pit Fighter that we don't see in this session, murdered the Master Warden, which is a big problem. And then you went down into the storehouse or the what was it, like the archives of the Warden's manor complex, and you stole the magical axe chain smasher at the behest of Lord Skurlock, as well as getting a tome, which I believe we're calling On the Merging of Souls, which you were going to use to make your hull. And in the process, you murdered another warden. Her name was... Oh, I have it in my notes. It was...
No, she has a spear.
She does. She has a magical spear, which she was going to use to try to defeat you, but didn't really do a great job at that.
She did use a spear.
She did use a spear. She tried. She was outnumbered, and it wasn't a great scene for her. And Satara was helping you, so that was a thing. What was her name? Oh, here we go. Her name was Insight. Yeah. Insight. You murdered Insight. So all the Spirit Wardens have like code names they use because they're always wearing masks and people don't know what their real identities are. The Warden you murdered was called Corvidae. He's dead now. And yeah, then you broke out of there in what was effectively steampunk APC, guns blazing. And the gondoliers whisked you away from the scene. Yeah, it was extremely Grand Theft Auto. Like the most Grand Theft Auto score. This is effectively if you just start a game of Grand Theft Auto, run straight into the military base and just start fucking shit up, and then see what happens. So yeah, so now you are at war with the Spirit Wardens, and you have a downtime phase to do something to prepare for when they come for you. And before we do that, I'm just going to make some rolls for the Spirit Wardens to see if they are able to successfully track you down and find some allies to help take you out. So let's see how this goes. So I'm going to do some fortune rolls. The Spirit Wardens are tier 4. And they're at weak hold because they're at war with you. So we're rolling with 4 dice. In order to find you, I'm going to give them an advantage die because you did a devil's bargain last session, which informed them of the fact that you were in Silkshore. So they're rolling with 5 dice. And no notes. Ooh, I got a 5. They didn't get... Incredibly, they did not get a crit. They're rolling 5 dice, so they didn't get a crit. So That's nice. It could have been worse. Hey. So what that means is their clock to find you, which I will say, I'm going to make that clock right now. So the Spirit Wardens are looking to find you. Find layer of Silkworms. I'll say this is a six segment clock, and they now have 2 ticks on that. Wait, yeah, 2 ticks. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, 2 ticks. And now we're going to see if they're able to get allies with the Sparkrights, who also don't like you. They're not allies at the moment, so let's see if they can do that. I'm just gonna adjust my sound settings here so it doesn't. There we go. Okay. So the number of dice rolling is 4, and there we go. So 5, so mixed result. So I'm going to say this is a 4-segment clock.
This is how long until they forge the alliance?
Yeah. Forge alliance with Sparkrights.
Well, there's another faction leader we need to take out.
Yeah, so they get 2 segments on this. They're halfway there. So you got pretty lucky, I gotta say. You got pretty lucky indeed. So you don't... your characters won't know this, right? Your characters don't know this, but you don't need to worry about them finding you this downtime phase, right? Yeah. So that was fortunate for you. Good thing you chose that hidden layer when you started play there. Yeah, saving you right now. So I think maybe we'll start the downtime phase here with Brendan, just to see what Cuckoo's been up to. And yeah. So what do you think you did in the meantime? You hired Lug for the crew, but are there any other things you think you would have done?
So most of my time probably would have been spent by my daughter's bedside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking maybe the hiring of Lug was actually me owing someone.
Okay. Do you have a rival that would have been relevant to?
Well, I haven't put down my what do they call it?
The ally and rival?
Rival, yeah. I haven't actually put down the rival, but I was thinking it would make sense if I did it with Salia, an information broker.
Okay. Is that the same Salia that you know, Lauren?
Yeah, I was going to say, B and B must run in super different circles because my rival is his ally and my ally is his rival.
Yes.
All right, I like that.
That's really good. Yeah. Okay, so Salia got Cuckoo to hire Lug. And you spent time at your daughter's bedside. So what's the story with your daughter? Can you refresh us on
that? She has a terminal illness.
Okay.
Which is why I predominantly commit crime.
Right. So
palliative care.
Did you have like something to take care of her, which is why you didn't need to do crimes in the meantime? Or why do you think you were sort of out of the picture there?
I think maybe her health took a particular turn for the worse.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think part of it, because I was going to also use one of my downtimes as my vice, and my vice is my obligation, my daughter.
Okay.
So I figured they would sort of like key into each other.
Yeah. Okay. Does she have a name?
No, I have not. Give me 2 seconds and I'll figure one out.
Okay.
A suitably Gaelic name for this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have some Gaelic names? How about Aoife? Or Roisin or Ashlyn?
Ashlyn.
Or
Actually, I like Ashlyn. Let's go Ashlyn.
Neve?
Is Ashlyn ASHLAN?
No, it's AISLING.
AISLING.
So yeah,
Okay.
AISLING. Means dream or vision.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Daughter. Good.
Perfect.
Okay, so she you were taking care of her, so let's see how that vice roll goes. How much stress do you have?
5. So anything but a 6 would be great.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Yeah, so let's see that vice roll. What action are you using to do this? Or wait, it's your lowest attribute, right? That's what you're rolling with.
Yes.
Well, I think it just does it for the roll 20 thing. I think you just click vice roll and it just does the thing for you. Here we are. Indulge vice. It is your lowest attribute rating, yeah. But you can just click on indulge vice on your character sheet and it'll do it.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be working for me.
Did you pop it out into a separate window?
Yeah.
That's why. There's probably a pop-up underneath the window that you can't see right now.
Oh god, okay. Oh, I know where it'll be. There we go. And I stress out.
Great, you overindulged. What a wonderful way to start the session. All right, so which of these do you want to pick? You attract trouble. You brag so that you get an additional entanglement. You brag about your exploits, which means you draw 2 heat for the crew. You are lost. You vanish for a few weeks. So I mean, that seems like the easiest one because you could just say like, "Oh, that's why I wasn't around," right? Or you're tapped. Your current purveyor cuts you off, so that would be something like you're estranged from your daughter or something like that, right? Yeah. So, which of these do you think you'd choose? Do you want to just go with lost because that kind of makes sense, right? Like,
yeah, if you're okay with that. Otherwise, I was just going to attract more trouble.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we need.
Well, I mean, I think I would say the only thing that would say to me that you might not want to choose lost is we established that you hired Lug, which means you did have something to do with the crew. You weren't actually vanished from their relationships. So maybe attract trouble. Like, can you think of like an interesting thing that would have attracted trouble because you were taking care of your daughter?
I feel like I probably would have spent a lot of time talking to my daughter while she was unconscious and probably said some things about where maybe things are. Like the lair.
And is there
been overheard.
Is there so like do you think you live in like a tenement or something like that?
I'm imagining sort of a very early private hospital, probably run by some sort of religious institution.
Oh, interesting. Let's see if there is something like that in Doswell. Let's see. I'll just check I'll check the PDF here for hospital. I mean, this will just give you some more relationships to deal with.
Yeah, sure.
Hospital. And like, I mean, mechanically, what it means is that we get an additional entanglement for you to roll. So you won't actually get to decide what it is yourself entirely. So that's not an option. Cool. So I'm going to check out the entanglements. If somebody wants to look through the text to see if you can find something about a hospital in the setting information, I'd really like to draw that into the story. I'd like to get a setting for Cuckoo to actually interact with his daughter. I think that could be fun. So I will look up entanglements now. So. How much heat is the crew at currently? Can somebody tell me?
One heat and one wanted.
Okay, so we're gonna roll an extra heat here, or extra entanglement. So, okay. This doesn't sound right. Okay. Well, our options here are gang trouble. One of your gangs or other cohorts causes trouble due to their flaws, but we don't have any gangs or cohorts, so we have to choose the other one. The Bluecoats grab someone in the periphery of your crew. One player volunteers a friend or vice purveyor as the person most likely to be taken. So who do you think that would be? It's supposed to be one player volunteer. So who thinks who has a friend or a vice purveyor they think would be taken in by the Bluecoats?
I'm friends with a corpse thief. If they're after the Spirit Wardens, they might be.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah. I mean, the Bluecoats, like, let me just hang on. Let me see if the
they're more police and less Spirit Warden. But
I just want to see what the relationship is between the Spirit Wardens and the Bluecoats, because they may be friends. The Bluecoats are actually friends with Lord Skurlock. I think that came up in the first session, though, right?
Yeah, he got the heat off of us from the Bluecoats.
Yeah. So it's not Lord Skurlock, I'll tell you that much. Interesting. So I would say that's not particularly likely because the Spirit Wardens are not allies with the Bluecoats. 2, Lord Skurlock is the person you were doing the job for, and he is allies with the Bluecoats. So I don't think the Bluecoats would be coming after you right now. Does anybody else have a recommendation for somebody who might have been taken in?
Who is Jenna? Wasn't Jenna involved way
Jenna's
early?
the servant, right? At the red lamp. Cuckoo is sort of kind of involved with, kind of.
Yeah. There's also the I forget the name of the character, but Lou's character. They had a friend.
Beetle?
Beetle had a friend that was working sort of panhandling.
Oh, right, but they're not friends anymore because the vice they got cut off, or Beetle got cut off from that vice purveyor.
Okay. There's also Aldo the gondolier.
Oh, it was totally Aldo, wasn't it? I think. Oh, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. They hate the gondoliers, don't they?
They do hate the gondoliers. They do hate the gondoliers. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And Aldo knows where your hideout is, right?
Got the cigarette to prove it.
But although the thing is, though, that the Bluecoats probably wouldn't tell the Spirit Wardens unless, like, it would be very unlikely. So I think there's going to be a fortune roll there involved to see, like, if the Bluecoats would actually tell the Spirit Wardens about this. It would be unlikely. So, okay. So first of all, we need to make a fortune roll to see if Aldo resists questioning by the Bluecoats. So does somebody want to make a fortune roll for Aldo, our good pal Aldo? He of smoking and gondoliering.
I vote not me. Brendan, you want to do it?
Oh, you can also pay off the Bluecoats with 1 coin if you like. That would stop them from questioning Aldo.
How much coin do we have?
I think you have quite a bit because that was a big score you just pulled.
I'm fine with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
got 2 coin in the stash for the whole crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aldo is our good friend, and we care about him deeply. We would be ever so chagrined if the Bluecoats were to hurt him. It's for no other ulterior purpose.
So what does it look like that when you pay off the Bluecoats to get Aldo out of trouble?
Who's Aldo's friend?
Beetle.
Ah.
We could the blue coat who Lord Skurlock is friends with. I don't know if we have a name for them yet.
I don't think so.
You know what? You actually have on the crew sheet. We have an unfilled out. It's not checked yet, but this could be like a precursor for later. We have LaRose, a blue coat. Not friends with them yet, but maybe this will be like the initial interaction we have.
Okay, so like Lord Skurlock has given you a name, and you can go and pay this guy off, and he'll make sure things get smoothed over.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So do we want to do a scene for this, or do we just want to do the action? Is anyone interested in interacting with this guy, I guess is the question here.
I've got a lot on my plate coming up, I think.
Okay. So it's like it's maybe just like a drop, like, like, oh, there's this guy, and this is where you can drop a bribe for him, and it's not even like a personal relationship. So let me just write this name down as something I need to keep track of. So what's the guy's name?
LaRose.
LaRose. It's on the crew sheet.
LaRose.
LaRose. Crew sheet. Okay, LaRose. Okay. Blue coat. Corrupt. Connected to Skurlock. Paid off. And his name is LaRose. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I think you probably have like a drop in. It's maybe like there's a patrol route he has, and you drop it in like what would it be like? I mean, I know in something about Venice, and this place is very Venetian, Silk Shore is very Venetian, is like that they have this really elaborate postal service. So I could kind of imagine this being something that is dropped in one of these mailboxes, and then we see LaRose come by later and just like, okay, here we go. And it's just like a message that's inside that says, or yeah, maybe it's like do you leave like a note or something to like tell him like what the bribe is for, or is it just like, oh, regards from the Silkworms, or what do you think it looks like?
I think it's something little bit like you have to decipher it. Like on our initial read, it doesn't make sense. It's like the words are in the wrong order, but LaRose would know how to piece it together.
Right, he has the decoding key for the cipher.
It's one of those birthday ciphers that, like, if he applies the month and day of his birth and like adjusts the letters accordingly, then it reads out properly.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So yeah, we see like pick up this thing written in cipher. It's like maybe
And the tip is happy birthday.
Yeah. and happy birthday, your pals in the Silkworms. And it's maybe like written in like stencil, like so you can't track the handwriting kind of thing. It's a weird cipher message.
Right, like a serial killer note.
No, I mean, like, how you can get those like plastic like cutout stencils that you just,
and you fill it in.
Yeah.
Not cut
That's not it's like a font. Yeah. Cool. All right, so that's Brendan. I think that's your first downtime activity, and so this is like unrelated to what happened to his daughter, right? It's just a bad thing that happened to the crew, unless there's some other reason why that would be connected. So we'll have to ask about that when he gets back. Oh, hey.
Sorry about that. What was you need to ask me? Sorry.
Yeah. So this whole thing about Aldo the Gondolier, this boy who was kind of friends with Lou's character Beetle. Him getting picked up by the Bluecoats. Does this have anything to do with what like you were involved with in your downtime? Like, does it have anything to do with your daughter, or is this just a thing like we just say it happens because it happens? Like this is just mechanical intervention.
No, I reckon it would have. I'd like it to have some sort of narrative reasoning. Yeah, something I would have slipped, I guess. Mentioning I probably would have mentioned that I actually work with Beetle. Talking about like the closest thing we have as a child to a group to a child.
Yeah. And then like, well, if it's true, Beetle's been in trouble with the Bluecoats before, so maybe Aldo got picked up by association with Beetle. And this is like a pretty minor thing that he got picked up on. It's not like, they were hunting him specifically. It's like, oh, hey, it's that kid. And like they took him in and they're like, hey kid, tell us what you've been doing. And then the bribe came in and they're like, oh, okay, well, get ye hence, get out of here. Yeah. All right, cool. So I want to know a little bit more about this relationship you have with your daughter. Is this like did you find anything about a hospital or someplace where she might be?
No, there's nothing about hospitals or hospices, and the only church that's mentioned is the Church of Ecstasy. So,
yeah, and I keep thinking there was something in here, like maybe the Lost had a clinic or something they were running.
Clinic? That's not something I looked up.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find much. There's a little bit about it. There's some friends that are chemists, allies. You can smuggle medicine and alchemicals. It's a smuggling opportunity.
I mean, alternatively, it could just be an actual doctor's personal clinic.
Yeah. I could see that for sure. Ooh. Yeah, I think we'll have to maybe leave that for the moment.
There's also random buildings, dust bowl buildings. They've got a clinic and an apothecary.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They've got a couple of, if you look on the right side, exam chair, medical tools, workbench.
Okay.
I mean, it might be one of those cases where just to save money, we've only used the one room, and whenever I'm talking to the doctor, it's with the child in the background.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So like. Okay, that makes sense. There's somebody who does house calls, is what you're saying?
No, I'm talking like TV rules, just to save money. It's only
Oh, okay, gotcha.
so we never actually see where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we'll maybe like just sort of set that aside, and if we find something good, then we'll work it in the next time. And the antiquated doctor's visit to the home. Yeah. And well, if it is, then what? Considering that you're tier 0 at the moment, and we're at the start of this, it's probably a pretty bad doctor if they're making house calls. So we'll see about that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I do like that idea though. And yeah, and I want to look into that more in the fiction, because I swear I saw something in there that could be like, oh, this would be a good person, but have to find out. So yeah, we'll leave that, and I think we'll move on to somebody else's downtime activities. So Lauren, Lex is the character who has 2 downtime activities left. So why don't you go ahead and choose one? What are you going to do?
Am I allowed to canvass my colleagues before taking them? And
Of course you can. Yeah, no, of course. Just know that your character is not aware of how much progress the Spirit Wardens have made in finding you. You probably know that like bad shit is coming. That's probably all you know.
Yeah, no, I'm totally gonna play her like she is assuming they're coming this session. Like shit needs to happen now. It should have happened yesterday. It should have happened a week ago.
Actually, this yeah. At the beginning of time, there should have been a decision made to not do the things we did last week. But hey.
Yeah. So I think yeah. So her MO is like ASAP. We need to have a solution, and it needs to be executed pristinely, flawlessly yesterday.
Okay.
So I have a couple of ideas, but I would like to canvass my fellow friends who had such fun while I was resting. What are your thoughts on how we should deal with this?
Fun, in air quotes. More like disaster brewing. Ryan, yeah, you want to jump in on this too?
I don't know that Razor has a lot of really great plans. Ever, especially not right now.
Well, I definitely think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I definitely think we should play to our strengths, and our strengths involve 2 social people and someone who can blow up stuff.
I was thinking the same thing.
So playing other factions against them and blowing up guerrilla warfare style.
Yeah. I also note that we have at least 2 rather powerful pinnacles. Not under our thumb per se, but within our Rolodex, our steampunk Rolodex. That being Zatara and Lord Skurlock.
Yeah.
Well, I think ticking in the back of Razor's mind is so if this goes terribly wrong, then I start rigging the workshop to explode and head off to another town, or I can set up shop again. But yes, blowing up someone else's stuff sounds like a much better plan.
Okay, so I have a couple of plans, if you guys want to hear them. Cuckoo, I love your idea about blowing stuff up. I think that is definitely playing to our strengths. I think one plan could be we blow up our own base and make it look like we're all died. So by the time
oh my god, it's scary how on like the exact same thought pattern we are.
Spider 5. Okay.
Well, Razor was thinking the same thing, but only pretending like she died and the rest of you were out of luck. So, yes, similar idea.
So
I'm
yeah,
a spider.
that is. I mean, we could affect 2 plans. There's a lot of brainstorm. We're all very competent people, so we could do that and something else. So we could totally fake our own deaths. So by the time the Spirit Wardens come, they think we've died. I think it's a solid plan.
Good. That's pretty good.
Another plan I have is like what sort of powers does Zatara have? I'm a little bit out of the loop on what Zatara is about.
She is a sea demon. So yeah, whatever that implies. It's pretty much all we know.
It could be a little bit of a bargaining chip. I had a. What do you have in mind for Sitara? Because I have an idea to throw out as well.
Ooh, okay, cool. Well, is she amenable to your suggestions, or does she require some leverage?
I would be able to at least talk to her. I think. That's my guess. But she would probably want to sink her claws very much deeper into me for each time I ask for a thing.
Oh, excellent. So she needs you.
I think so. I mean, she's possessed me for some reason. Maybe she just wants me out of the picture. I don't know. Kyle's shaking his head, so maybe I'm just a toy here. I don't know.
No, this is not a situation where you have leverage on Zatara. It's very much the other way around.
Because what if this is my convoluted plan, but one of them was if I engage in some sort of ghost contract with Zatara / and or the cart. Zatara, there's hopefully, I was thinking some incentive for Zatara to help you enact our deal, lest you die. And all of the time she spent trying to possess you is moot. But I don't know how much leverage that. I don't know if that would be enough. If
you go with that idea, I probably will. If you want to go that route, I'll probably divulge some details to you because I have some secrets on you. I would feel comfortable exchanging. You don't know this yet, but she has designs to essentially unleash a bunch of her siblings that are chained underneath the city to wreak havoc on the living. That's her sort of big picture goal. I'm just a pawn in this.
I mean, I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's another possibility.
My other possibility is to do a similar bargain with Lord Scarlock. But in that instance, the deal would be that I imagine that he's in need of a vicious lawyer, and I would indebt myself to him if we struck a deal for him to give us safe passage from if he were to unleash hell on the Spirit Wardens.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
But that is Leonora's least favorite plan because that involves indebting herself to someone, and she does not like indebting herself to people.
Sure.
But those are my 3 ideas.
My idea is to get the unseen involved. They are enemies of the Spirit Wardens. They are allies of the Blue Coats. So is Lord Skurlock. They're allies with the Forgotten Gods. Also, Lord Skurlock is allies with the Forgotten Gods. They're also tier 4, which is an equal match with the Spirit Wardens. So that could be we just did a job for Lord Skurlock. We're in his good graces. Maybe he could arrange a meeting with the leader. And if I don't know how much meta gaming we're allowed to do, reading the faction stuff there, but it seems
in order to learn this information, you would have to do a gathering information activity. You wouldn't just be able to your character wouldn't just be able to know oh, of course the unseen are allies of Lord Skurlock and they don't like the Spirit Wardens. That's something you're going to have to roll for.
Okay, but that would be my angle, is trying to get an equally powerful enemy faction involved that would have an interest planting someone in a new leadership position with the Spirit Wardens that's favorable to them.
Mm-hmm.
So if we affect some kind of alliance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had.
I like that
all
plan.
Those plans sound awesome, actually.
Yeah. And then I guess my next question is, which of the plans, like, what is faster? Like, where's our, like, time effectiveness, like, crossover for what's the best plan?
You have 5 downtime activities remaining in this phase. So that's kind of the budget you're working with. If you want, depending on the complexity of what you're doing, you will maybe have to start a long-term project to do some of these things. So, yeah.
That's what I figure. Oh, man. Mr. the Cart's plan sounds really good. I just wonder how long it's going to take. Because we have to find these people and then strike a deal with them. I don't know how long this is going to take.
Yeah, that's something you'd have to try to figure out by gathering information. But you also gathering information does not take a downtime activity, so it's nice to know. Yeah.
Maybe we could do a downtime. Maybe we could do gathering information for one of those plans and just see how well we do.
I like that idea.
Yep.
That's a genius idea.
Because we don't lose any downtime that way.
Yeah, that's right. So
What
who
are you
wants
guys
to
feeling? Yeah,
who
who's
wants to
feeling-
gather information here? Oh, and I just want to check to see about the whole trauma thing that you're going through, Cart.
Ah, no.
So possession, I think it's under.
Yes.
Okay.
I recall that possession stuff was at the beginning of it. So they're early on in the beginning.
Here it is, page 14. At the end of every week, so I would say it would be after this downtime phase. You have one downtime phase without trauma, so that's nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to gather some information here?
Yeah. What plan are you guys feeling? I'm cool with all of them, honestly. They're blowing themselves up is quick and dirty.
Yeah, I feel like Zatara is probably a bit more volatile. So I'm tempted.
You also have no leverage over her.
Yeah, so I think scrap that one. So I think for me it comes down to do we go Lord Skurlock or the Unseen, for which is going to be, and then I think for me it's just a matter of what's going to be faster, but also maximize sort of the impact we can have on the Spirit Wardens or whatever we want them to do to help save us.
So what do you think? What do you think? I can't give you information on these things ahead of you actually looking into them. So like
okay,
what's your gut feeling on which one is the better option?
I was more looking to my colleagues know more than I do about Lord Skurlock and the Unseen.
You could even do the Unseen through Lord Skurlock.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The Unseen... I mean, maybe you know they exist. I think you might... Like, I think... Here's what I will say is, if you want to get in touch with the Unseen, then you make the gathering information roll, like you figure out kind of how you want to do it, and like if it works out, we can say that you did it by way of Lord Skurlock, right? Yeah, because it's kind of like I don't know. It says like they're basically like unknown, right? They have perfect secrecy, so it's like your tier 0 crew would not know, like, oh, I'm just going to go down to the Unseen recruiting office and talk to them. Yeah, excuse me, Mr. Unseen.
Sure. But we may have definitely gained their attention through our actions.
Yeah, I can
would
tell you
imagine.
this. Like, your characters do not know this, but the faction that gave you the plans to the Spirit Wardens manor were the Unseen. Lord Skurlock got those for you from the Unseen. So, I mean, they know you exist for sure. It's just your characters don't know that they got that information that way.
So it sounds like we're going through Little Skurlock. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. And like, so here's the thing about gathering information. When you want to know something specific about the fictional world, you ask a question. So what do you want to know specifically about the fictional world? And I will get you to do a roll.
Oh man, I feel like it's something like how can we meet these people? Where are they? Like,
but you don't
Yeah.
even know
Oh, yeah.
them, right? So like, are you looking for allies? Like, who are the enemies of the Spirit Wardens? Like that kind of thing. Like, is
yeah.
okay?
I mean, I'm at a loss because I wasn't here last session, so I don't know. Like, I need help, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
sure.
maybe we're looking for our faction interested to have a hand in replacing the leader of the Spirit Wardens.
Okay.
Who would
so,
best help us?
Who can best help you? So how? Like with what specific problem? I guess would be the question, right?
I liked the cart's suggestion of like who can we like? What did you say? The cart like replace?
Yeah. Which faction has the greatest interest in having someone amenable to their interests in the position of power, the Spirit Wardens?
Okay.
It's a good question.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So.
That sort of raises another idea, actually.
Mhm.
Oh, go for it.
If we could find someone who would like to be the new head of the Spirit Wardens and help them take that position,
Mhm.
they could turn the heat off of us.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what you're angling for here, right? This is what the cart
There's
kind of had in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's full aim for, and then you shoot for the moon, and if you fail, you'll at least land amongst the stars, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, fortunately, in this world, the stars are both above and below us.
Oh,
so
we're in luck then, aren't we?
yeah. Okay, so let's think about here the action roll, or not the action roll, the fortune roll you're making. So it says here, some questions are too complex to answer immediately with a single gather information roll. For instance, you might want to discover the network of contraband smuggling routes that the Hive uses throughout Dustfall. In these cases, the GM will tell you to start a long-term project that you can work on during downtime. I think that's fair in this case. I think you do actually need to spend downtime activities to get something like which faction is most interested in influencing the Spirit Wardens, right? Like the new Spirit Warden leadership. I feel like that's not something you could trivially do in one fortune roll. So we can start a long-term project for that if somebody wants to spend their action to do that.
I'll do it. I've got one.
Sure. Cool.
Is this a long-term plot that we can pass around and?
That's what that's what I'm hesitant about, is committing to a long-term project that's only going to get us one step of the way.
Right. Well, you can.
Because I'm really close to just going to Lil Skurlock's house and going, "Come on, man! Like, help us out here."
Yeah. I mean, I think you have some leverage in that situation because you did the job for him. So you going to talk to Lord Skurlock to see what's up. You could get some information, but that way, I think
that's a good idea.
So, yeah, okay. So like, you're kind of just going to Lord Skurlock and being like, "What's our best way of surviving here?" Like, you just want to know that.
Yeah, and if he would be amenable to facilitating that survival.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure. Yeah, so I don't think this will be, I think this is probably like free play. I don't think this is a downtime activity.
And I kind of like that it's the similar scene from last time where the cart and Leonora rock up to his place.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shoot low for the stars and hit the sky is like the friggin' coolest thing I've ever heard of it, by the way.
That's pretty funny. Only works in Dustfall.
So mm, I'm really torn on how to call this. But I think I'm gonna say I think you can just go talk to him and he may get you to do something which would require a downtime activity. Yeah.
That's okay. We're people with not many options.
So I think that would be the gathering information we're talking about here.
Yeah.
This is I don't think this is something that needs a long-term project. So okay, so you're gonna go talk to Lord Skurlock. And I think this makes sense as something that happens like fairly soon after the score. This is like maybe you're delivering the goods that you stole, right? You're delivering Chain Smasher. So is it's the two of you that are going to see him?
Yeah, that's other people want to come along. I'm open invite.
Yeah, you could take everyone.
Yeah, I mean, is there anybody who would rather not go see his lordship? Have something better to do? I mean, splitting up at this point in time is probably sensible because you know you get more things done. But
yeah, true. There's things to blow up.
Yes.
Maybe I'll stick out then. If we think of something else that needs to be done, I can jump in for that part.
Okay, cool. So we'll come back to you after this scene. Okay, so you go to the place where you usually meet Lord Skurlock in Six Towers. You know, you maybe have like a bundle. One of you's carrying a bundle. It's probably the cart, to be honest. Like I think the cart has Chain Smasher wrapped up in like some canvas or something like that, right? And you know, like obviously you're holding it tight to your body because Sitara has taken control of you, and this is what she covets, right? So yeah, so I think that you would be holding it, and like we probably see like the sort of like shadowy outlines of Sitara also holding on to the axe as you approach the manor, and Lord Skurlock is just sort of, you know, standing in the middle of the room, expecting you to enter. He already has drinks prepared for you, and he walks up to you to the cart and he says, "Oh well, you've done very fine work. Would you
At a
please
great
hand that
cost."
over, and I'll give you a refreshment."
I hand it over to him.
Yeah, and even though this is like, you know, this giant axe, which is like it's unclear whether it's like a battle axe or just an axe for like rough hewing of things. He just like picks it up with one hand and hands you the tumbler of whiskey, and then goes and picks another one up and hands it over to Lex. And you know, I think he like gestures and the door closes behind you, and then he like just like tears off the canvas and like has the axe in his hand, in his hands, and says, "Well, you found it, retrieved it, no less. So then, payment will be forthcoming. there anything I can do for you in the meantime?
Well, as my companion was saying, it came at quite the cost.
Oh,
And
but one of your members killed.
there are fates worse than death.
Oh, yes, certainly. Captured.
I'm
Indeed.
sure you're aware of the true nature of this incident, Lord Skurlock.
True nature of this incident. Well, I was not there. I do hear things, but you've come to me quite quickly. I'd like to hear first-hand report of your exploits.
Please, Mr. Descartes, would you indulge the Lord?
Yeah. So I break down the, step by step what happened there. And then, and then, finish off with, so their leader is no longer. We are in quite a pickle.
Oh, Master Warden himself murdered.
Yes, perhaps there are other factions with an interest in the replacement. And in this endeavor, perhaps we could remain instrumental. Our necks attached to our bodies, heads attached to our bodies.
Yes. Suppose perhaps you may have some continuing value, and going to get you to make that roll. So, what action do you want to roll with here, and who's going to make the roll?
You want to do it?
Yeah, this feels like a consorty sway kind of thing.
So, consort would be like the description.
Drawing upon heritage, background, friends, rivals to gain access to resources, information, people, or places. Yeah, this feels like a consort, right?
It's just a question of more like, is it you relying on your relationship with Lord Skurlock, or is it making a proposition to Lord Skurlock of something that would be valuable to him? That was what I would say would be the sort of distinguishing thing there.
Well, like, I don't know. I kind of hate it, but I love it too. Of seeing if he would be open to some sort of deal where I exchange services for ongoing protection.
Okay, so we'll go through that. So that would be a sway in my view. But yeah. Okay. So sway. I think your position is going into this. I mean, I feel. I think this is risky because you're going to Lord Skurlock. If it was anybody else, it would be desperate. But I think this is a risky position. And your effect will be, I think this would start at limited. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, sort of taking into account the fact that you're friends, even though he's higher tier than you, I'd say you'd start at limited. So risky limited. If you want to spend stress to bump that up to risky standard, you could do that. If anybody wants to help, that's also a possibility. I think the cart, you're almost at max stress, so you might be having some troubles there.
I was going to say I want to help, but it'll give you another stress bar, which
would trauma you out. So yeah, that's nobody else is in the scene. So
trauma in my current state is
hey, it'll just get you that much faster to being completely possessed by Satara.
Yeah, it operates a little differently. So I don't know. Maybe I do it.
So whatever you feel is appropriate, Mr. Descartes.
I'm going to help. I want to see what happens here.
Okay, so you're gonna spend that one stress and you're gonna trauma out, and so that would give you. So I don't think you can help. You can't increase the effect by helping, but you can give Lauren an extra die.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So if you want to spend stress to increase your effect there, Lauren, you still can do that.
That's exactly what I was going to do. So thank you so much, Mr. Cott, for your assistance. It is much appreciated.
And you can get an extra die by either spending 2 stress or by taking a devil's bargain.
Wait, I thought so. I can spend stress once, right?
No, because you're spending stress to increase your effect, which is separate from getting an extra die. Yeah, so you can do both of those things. It's I think 2 stress to increase your effect and 2 stress to get an extra die.
Why the fuck?
Or devil's bargain.
Have you got a good devil's bargain? I'm open to bargains.
Well, I mean, I think this is so the devil's bargain. I mean, everybody's open to give suggestions here.
If I'm about to have Satara take hold of me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to throw this so over Lauren, but maybe Satara's able to gain a little bit of extra hold on her as well.
Oh boy! If you want to walk down that road, you could, yeah.
That's my horrible idea.
I definitely could see that. I mean, yeah. And I mean, I think it's a good devil's bargain because what it means is that you would start to be under the sway of Satara, and at the same time, you would be entering into a ghost contract with Lord Skurlock, who is also under the sway of Satara. So that would be double bad for you, which I think is a good devil's bargain.
Yeah, totally. And it makes fictional sense too if everyone's in cahoots together.
The whole crew slowly becomes possessed by Satara. Okay, do you want to take that devil's bargain, or do you want to spend stress instead?
Like, so mechanically, what'll happen? Will I go into a similar clock to the cart kind of thing? Okay,
yeah, you're going to start a long-term, like you'll start a clock that is Satara possesses you. Yeah.
And how did that work for the cart again? Is it pretty much like just a countdown clock to when I will be possessed, or is that? Oh, okay.
Similar to what I think Tom was doing in Wodu.
With Kakara.
Yeah.
Nice. Fuck me.
I wouldn't blame you if you didn't take it.
It's a really tempting one. I just don't know if I'm ready to throw my whole heart and soul and body into all of this. I don't know. I might just stress myself out twice.
Okay, so are you going to spend 4 stress, or are you going to spend 2 stress?
Jeez. So I've got 2 dice plus the 1 from the cart. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll make it standard effects, and then I'll add it. So I'll do 4 dice.
4 stress, and you get 2 bonus dice, and you're rolling risky standard here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see risky standard with 2 bonus dice.
Oh my god! Thank fuck.
Just barely.
6.
Got 6. Nice work.
Do it. So specifically, what you were looking for was a deal with Lord Skurlock, right? That he would you do some kind of quid pro quo arrangement with him that would get him to help the crew.
And I think in this capacity, helping is like, who could we get top of the Spirit Wardens who would like us, who would stop trying to kill us, and all that jazz, which I feel like is a bit moot anyway, given that you're trying to kill the city. But you know what? Who cares? We'll cross it.
I mean, look, if you're so this is the thing. I wish the game kind of had a procedure for negotiating a ghost contract, but it doesn't. So this time you're not making the ghost contract under duress. So let's think here about what the terms are, because this goes both ways, right? You get something from him, he gets something from you. So what you want from him specifically, and I do want to write this down because this is a contract. What is it that you want from Lord Skurlock in this contractual agreement?
I'll make sure I get you guys to help just get the word right, because I want to make sure that like this is for the good of our group. I'm not killing myself if it's not going to help everyone. So do you reckon the specifics are like his ongoing help to see someone head to the Spirit Wardens who would put a stop to this clearly unjust pursuit of our crew? Is that kind of what we're angling for?
Well, we can make it very specific, which is like he will introduce you to the inner circle of the unseen, right? Like that would be something that would directly help you achieve that, right? Like it's a specific thing he could do to, yeah. So like, because you're in a negotiation, Lord Skurlock could say, well, I know some people, I could introduce you to them, and that would be my side of the contract.
I would raise him and say, Lord Skurlock, I do appreciate your introduction to these people. However, I also appreciate the fact that you are a very influential man and would appreciate you to facilitate our relationship with the unseen, given that they're also quite influential.
So you want what you want him to help you get in on their good side?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say he's not amenable to that because you got standard effect. You didn't get great effect. So I think he'd be okay with like, okay, I'll introduce you to these like super secret group of people that almost nobody knows about. But I'm not going to go out of my way to, because like that is a very bad contract to enter, right? Like if Lord Skurlock made that contract, it would mean that if like on very nebulous terms, he could just take 3 harm from the ghost contract, right? Like, oh, you didn't do enough to help us get on the good side of the unseen, right? Like it's very unclear what the terms of the contract would be in that case, and I don't think he would agree to that because the ghost contract is very dangerous, right?
You could stipulate that not just an introduction with them, but with their top, like their leader.
Oh, that's good.
I think that's on the table. Like I think it's like he will introduce you to the inner circle. Like this is not like, oh, I'm going to tell you like some person who knows them.
Yeah.
I'm curious what limited effect was.
Limited effect would have been something, very, very like that. This is a big deal. Like this is a big deal that he would do this for you. Like limited effect would have been something more like I will divulge information on a faction interested in this matter to you, right? Like that would have been limited, right?
Okay. I'll stop being so pushy.
But now we need to talk about what you're going to do for him, right? This is a two-way street. So you are bargaining. So you want to bargain away your services to him. Like, is there a specific period of time you want to work for him? Is there a specific thing that you like? So I'll say this: the options you have here is you could either say you get my unlimited services for a period of time, or you get my limited services for an unlimited period of time, right? Like those would be kind of 2 reasonable trade-offs, I think. Like I'll do anything for you for 2 weeks, or I will do one specific thing for you on a kind of open time frame.
I think because Eleanor is vicious, she is open to destroying whatever within a limited time frame.
Okay, I like that. You know that Lord Skurlock is also a vicious person, so you're like, oh well, this could be nice.
Yeah, of course. I only deal with people who are like-minded to ensure a true meeting of the minds.
Okay, so let's. I'm going to write this down now. So the ghost contract is. Okay, so from Skurlock, Skurlock agrees.
I'm going to write this down too.
to introduce the members of the crew to the inner circle of the unseen. And Lex agrees to perform
Pro bono legal work, no questions asked.
well, not just legal work, perform services of unlimited scope for what do you think is a reasonable time frame for this?
Well, I don't know how time always feels so intangible when you're playing Blades.
Yes, but I mean, we can make it into a clock.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a fair person. I feel like roughly as long as it'll take to
make the introductions.
Yeah.
So we'll say like a week.
Yeah. That sounds clean.
Okay. Sure. I think he will definitely. Yeah, I think if it's a week, I think he's going to push you pretty hard on this. If it is, like 2 weeks, then maybe he would give you a little bit more agency. But I think it's like basically if it's a week, whatever your next downtime activity will be was going to be something you're doing for Lord Skurlock. Absolutely. And probably there will be like some kind of rider on whatever you do in your next score that will also be for Lord Skurlock.
Nice. I'm kind of like fine doing stuff for Skurlock for a period of time because I think that'll be fun. So I'm open for it to being like 2 weeks.
Sure. Okay, so for let's say for 2 weeks, or a like 6-segment clock, whichever finishes first.
Yeah. Sorry that took up so much downtime. I'm so sorry, guys.
Well, that's fine. It's that's what happens when you go and make a contract. So yeah, so if you do anything against the wishes of Lord Skurlock during this period of time, you will take 3 harm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Zatara eats me.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at least you avoided that. Okay, so yeah, so he's going to agree to this. He says, "Oh well, you probably go through some negotiations over this," and he says, "Oh well, yes, I suppose I can find some use for you," and goes and sets down Chain Smasher on a table. Or no, you know what he does is he walks over to like a side table beside one of these like kind of like moldy couches that are in this room, and he just like hefts the axe and like smashes the table in half, and just like parts go flying everywhere. And he says, "Oh well, still works." And then he puts it down. And he says, "Well, was there anything else you wanted? I can get to your business. I'll be in touch. I'll let you know what I need from you, Lex. We'll be in constant communication."
I look forward to it. I always appreciate any opportunity to engage with you, and I do hope that your art is faring well.
Oh yes. The picture is becoming clearer.
I'm happy for you.
And so we'll cut there, I think. So, okay, you have this. This is going to happen. We'll say maybe. Let's see if there's anybody else. Like let's see what Brendan's been up to, what Cuckoo's been up to, because this is supposed to be a simultaneous thing. So, what do you think you've been doing?
So I figure So Lug would have traumed out
Oh, yes.
beforehand. So yeah, I'm sort of going to run off the assumption that in him getting out and disappearing, he actually came across me and managed to tell me everything went to shit. So
No, I mean,
narratively,
I think nobody knows where the fuck Lug is. Like, I think
okay, I'm just trying to figure out.
He's just who knows? Like this, he was with you, and then he got left behind on that score, and who the fuck knows where he is?
I'm just trying to think of narrative justification for me to be able to know to do anything that would help us at this point if that scene was literally at the end of the score.
Oh, yeah, I think what it could have been is I could see Razor going to see you because Razor was not with them at Lord Scurlock's Manor, so Razor could have come and seen you.
Okay,
and yeah.
Okay, cool. In that case, I want to.
Well, Razor is a medical professional, not the kind you want around. But...
if you want your daughter Frankenstein, then Razor's a good option.
Back. But yeah, I can go fill in our missing spider.
Does Razor have any friends involved in alchemy?
I have an apothecary who doesn't like me, and I'm an acquaintance with a blood dealer, which is alchemically important, but no alchemists on my sheet.
Okay. I think I'm probably going to have to go through the information broker that I'm rivals with in order to find someone who can sell me explosives then.
Okay. Yeah, so what you're looking for here is a service. You want somebody to you want an introduction to someone, right? Is what you're looking for?
Yeah.
And then, like, what is it? Is it going to be like Razor's going to roll to see if you get the explosives you need? It's like, are you going to be teaming up on this job, or?
If Razor wants to come, that's probably not a bad idea.
Razor is totally up for looking for explosives because, yeah, that seems appropriate.
Cool. Okay, so we'll do an acquire asset roll here. So. There we are. So you're going to be rolling with your crew's tier, which is 0. So you will be rolling 2 dice and taking the lowest result. And the result will indicate the quality of the asset you get. So that's going to be the quality of the introduction you get from your rival who doesn't like you already. So yeah, let's see how this goes.
Is it possible to get a bonus die by pushing yourself with the tier roll?
No, it's not, but it is possible to increase your result with coin.
Okay. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Is there an option on the crew sheet for rolling tier?
Good question. I don't think so. I think this is just you're just going to roll a faction roll or a fortune roll with your tier.
Yeah.
You can click where it says tier, and it gives you an option to roll.
Oh, really? On what?
There we go.
On the okay.
Yeah. Okay, I see it.
So remember, your tier is 0 right now, not 1, because of you're at war.
Wait. Actually, I'll just double check that and do it again because I think I pressed it when it was still 1.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. So you got a 2.
Disappointing.
Which means that the quality of what you get is your tier -1. So it's going to be 0. So if you want to get something of 1 quality, you're going to have to spend 2 coin to get there.
Oh.
Your rival. No, you don't get any advantage from you going to talk to your rival to get this stuff.
No. I can do that if I use one of the coins from the crew stash, but I don't know if everyone's all right with that.
Yeah, or I can pitch in one of my coin.
You do it if you need
Like
to.
all my coin.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever. Go for it.
All right, cool. I'll
We might die
yeah.
tomorrow, so you might as well go big or go home.
All right, cool. I'll spend one of my own coins and use the crew coin then.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna get the tier 1. You're gonna get tier 1 alchemist, maybe. Which is, hey, at least it's higher than your tier. So yeah, so let's think about. I think there's a thing here in the setting information. Night market. Yeah. So I think you probably get introduced to somebody who is not the proprietor of the Devil's Tooth in Night Market, but somebody who is a frequent patron of the Devil's Tooth. And their name is going to be... Let's say Noggs. Noggs. Noggs the Alchemist. The tier 1 alchemist. And it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, somebody who kind of smells constantly of saltpeter. It has like, you know, like rough sort of like workman's clothes on, but they're like stained with various kinds of chemical substances. There's like chemical stains all over the sleeves and stuff. Yeah. And yeah, and I think they so what was the name of your information broker again?
Salia.
Salia, yeah. So I think you're like in the Devil's Tooth in Night Market. And Noggs is sitting there drinking some weird drink. It's got like a strange color to it. And he says, "Oh yeah, Salia talked to me about you."
Only the best of things, I'm sure.
Well, she said you had coin.
Nothing up these sleeves that you can see, but I've got something to get what I need.
Uh-huh. So what do you need?
So I have an infestation down in the sewers. So I'm looking to sort of just remove the entire area. It seems the easiest way to remove that issue. So something with enough explosives to basically bring down. How big is our lair?
Your lair, it's, you know, it's like roughly the size of like a house, right? Like, yeah, it's like I'd say it's like a quarter city block, something like that.
So like 500 square meters or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh well, that sounds exciting.
This guy's so excitable.
Like, I'll see what I can do. And I think he turns over to Razor and says, so your friend here doesn't have any coin up his sleeve, but what about you? You help me out?
And this is in addition to the coin we paid for. introductions?
Well, this is going to be you making the acquire asset roll, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I can probably arrange something for professional services rendered. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So he says, of course, cash on delivery.
Yes.
And
That's how I
yeah.
prefer to work.
So let's get you to make that acquire asset roll.
What do I roll?
You're making again a fortune roll with 0 die or
Oh,
zero dice.
no.
I will give you an extra die because this is you acquired this asset, so you can roll their tier, which is going to be a 1, quality of 1. Yeah, so you get 1 die.
A 3.
A 3. That is your tier -1. So you're still looking
No.
at a quality of -1. Do you have any coin to spend? Oh no, wait. It's his quality -1, so it's a 0. So you only need to spend 1 coin to get a quality 1 explosive. But I'm gonna say, like, if you really want to blow this thing sky high, you're looking at like probably a quality of about 2. Where's the magnitude table? Here we are. Yeah, like serious force. I'd say it's you need a quality of at least 3 to do this. So you would need to spend 4 coin. Oh no, yeah, 4 coin. 4 coin. Is there any way you can get that kind of money together? Is there any way you could do this?
I've got 2 on my character.
Mm-hmm.
I've only got 2 coin.
So you can put those together, right?
I have some coin too if people want.
Okay. So it looks like you can come up with the money. And you know, this is the cash on delivery, right? Like this is, you don't have it on you right away, but you're gonna get it together. So yeah. So I think you can come. So figure out who's spending what, and then we'll move on from there.
Lauren, you said you had 1.
I have so many. Like, there's so many things we need to do. So I feel like we need to get corpses if we're gonna sell that we're dead, right? So
Yeah, I have a buddy, but I don't know how much corpses go for in this setting. So,
I mean, we could do a job to acquire corpses.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so you can either acquire an asset or you can. So I think you have
It's fine.
You have 1. Well, no, because the card is traumatized out, so the card's not doing shit this downtime.
Oh, right.
unless
Yeah,
he's left all his money behind him, we could say he
Yeah, you
went
can take my
with
money.
this.
I've got 2 coin.
Yeah, oh, totally. It's just you're not going to be able to do a downtime activity to acquire an asset. So
we've got
would be so Lex, you spent 1 of your 2 activities, I think. Is that correct? So you have 1 left, and then that's all you have left for the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Razor has 1 left now, right? 2?
Are you
No,
guys?
Razor had only 1 and spent it in order to get these explosives.
Ah, crap. So I'm the only one with an action left. Okay.
Now,
That is correct.
Are we able to spend coin to do an extra downtime?
Yes, you can. You can spend coin to do an extra downtime
So
activity.
here's what you can do, Lauren.
Mm.
So I've got 2 coin, and Razor needs 2 more coin right now, right? So I can give 1, you give 1, I'll have 1 left over, and then you can take that and use that as an extra downtime activity.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That's
Sounds
fair.
good.
So
Yeah,
I'll mark
although-
off all my coin.
But if we're trying to contact my clever friend, then I need the downtime action, don't I?
Yeah, but
Unless you want to just make some bodies.
I mean, we can say that the money gets to you, right? Like,
Okay.
Lauren will still spend it, but
Okay.
I mean, I think it's given the extreme circumstances your crew's in under. I'm willing to be a little bit charitable with this.
Thanks. We'll try to make some good fiction for you.
Yeah.
I am out of coin then.
Okay. Good.
And how much coin? So I give up 1 coin or 2 coins?
I think it was. So I think there was Razor was spending 2, and
Yeah, I'll spend 2. I'll spend 2, and then you keep.
Yeah,
the
then you
extra one.
you don't have to spend
Downtime.
any yet, but you're gonna have to spend 1 to do your downtime activity. Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
So you get the explosives. All right. So somebody can mark that down that you have a set of serious explosives. So their magnitude is 3 or serious.
I cannot wait for that scene. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And I think they're probably like delivered by like some kind of like barge. Yeah. And and they just kind of show up, and there's like a sort of nondescript man who like picks them up. It's like somebody. It's like, you know, it's like a stevedore or something who's just like this huge box, and it says like fragile on it, and it just like boom, and like everybody's probably like for a moment, and then it's like, okay, it heads off. It doesn't blow up yet.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Followed
So
by Razor yelling, "Stop manhandling my shipments!" And then going back to stuff.
Just like shrugs. It's like,
So I feel like there's a couple of things. Oh, shoot, there are so many cool things we can do. I feel like the more convoluted plan is try and figure out how to get the Spirit Wardens to just blow up, but I feel like that's.
You want to blow up the Spirit Wardens?
We need bodies, and they have them. So.
2 birds, 1 stone, my friend.
Well, I think you would need at least a quality 6 explosive to blow up the Spirit Wardens. Like, I believe it would be quote unquote devastating in order to do that.
Oh man, maybe we should have done that. We should have just like fed them information into our hideout and then just blown the shit out of them. That would have been an option.
So you're trying to get them to come to your. Well, they're not going to send all the Spirit Wardens. It seems a little bit short-sighted.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a different. That's like a parallel universe plan that we.
I mean, we could still plan to do that while also having bodies planted. So when they go through the rubble, it looks like, oh no, we blew ourselves up in our confusion or something.
Yeah, totally.
So
I mean, this is you're at war, so you know you can try to do a multi-pronged strategy. It's just that you're pretty limited in how much resources you have.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, totally. So I'm good with whatever you want to do. I'll just spend my downtime action in the way that makes most sense for our people. So
is this like the getting corpses thing? Is that?
I was gonna say, so I in the very short term, foresee the getting corpses action, and then also like engaging the unseen as another, like just taking into consideration our deal with Lord Skurlock right away and just getting in.
Oh yeah.
ASAP.
I think the unseen is going to take a bit of time to actually get the results we want. So in the very least, looking like we've blown ourselves up will give us a bit more time.
Exactly. So you're great spiders think alike. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, get by some time with the blown up base while we're working with the unseen to try and suss that deal out. So yeah.
Okay. So is this so this is now going to be Razor doing the corpse acquisition?
If Razor is fine with that. I don't want to dictate Razor's free.
Razor is always down to just find a gob of bodies for no apparent reason. So
Cool.
So you have a corpse dealer friend, right?
yes, I do.
Okay.
And we're actually like on good terms, friend versus acquaintance.
So like you want a number of corpses equal to the number of silkworms, basically, is what you're looking for here?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be what? 4 plus 2, I think. That would be 6 corpses you want? Okay. All right, and you
And
don't
it's
need
not
to acquire an
a-
asset to. So you have a provider, right?
Yeah.
So let's think about what kind of difficulty this would be. What quality of corpses do you need?
They don't have to be great because we're gonna blow them up afterward. It's not like I'm breaking them down for parts.
Yes, absolutely. That I agree 100% with that.
These are the
I'm
real
not
I mean,
concerned about-
theoretically, we could just get parts.
I was thinking that.
We
Yeah.
are blowing them up.
Yeah. I'm like, well, we need one that's kind of small and one that's a great big guy, but we could just have like some assorted parts that weren't good enough for his other sales. And I'm open
That's
to
also
making
fun.
it.
We could also leave behind our clothes and take on new clothing. They would recognize the clothes.
Yeah.
from the job.
This is something I forgot to mention. Your crew takes +2 heat for acquiring explosives.
Oh,
God damn it.
mark that on.
That is a thing. Yeah. I'll also note that in the future, if Razor wants to craft explosives, that's a thing you can do with Tinker. It's just you would need to. It becomes a project, right? Unless it's like a very common. Like if you wanted to make some grenades, you could probably do that without a long-term project. But if you want to make a bomb of this magnitude, then yeah, it would be a.
Yeah, I didn't propose that because I figured it would be and Razor is still busy researching as the Spirit Wardens come in, and she yells, "But the bombs aren't ready for you yet."
Yeah, totally. I think you made the smart play. Yeah, so I think I'd say so. The minimum quality for these corpses, I'm gonna say, is like 1 because you're not looking for much. So you're gonna roll with your tier, and we'll see if you can get it. I mean, I'll give you 1 die because you get the advantage of knowing somebody. Yeah.
It's someone who is motivated to thieve me a corpse or several.
Yeah. You've done business before. It's like oh, so you need 6 bodies? No, I just need the weight equivalent of 6 bodies. Hopefully with all the parts.
I mean, I don't want all arms because that looks a little weird,
Yeah.
but I'm open to getting just pieces.
Yeah, it's like okay,
Yes.
well,
All right arms.
like goes into the bargain bin, like
Well, we had
has
spiders.
like a big scale, like bong, like there's a torso.
Yeah.
head.
No, I want the damaged one, so it's a little cheaper. This
Yeah,
one has a
right.
dent. How much do I get off?
This one's past the sell by date.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this one's going a little off color. I mean, you can't sell this to someone who's going to use it. I got a 4.
Okay, how's that? Yeah, so you get an amazing result of your tier, which is 0. So, does anybody have a coin? Because you could get that one. You could get that one if you could spend it.
I have a coin. You're welcome
Okay.
to my coin.
And this is
Yay.
not the coin you spent to do the extra downtime activity, right?
I don't think so.
Did you spend okay? So you spent the coin to allow Razor to do this, right? There was that 1 coin you spent.
Yeah, so that I'm still good for coin.
Okay. So you spend this 1 coin, and then you are able to get the bodies that you
Yeah.
need. And hey, like because they're your friend, they're even mostly intact. Very convincing corpses.
Yeah. Tell Eggert that he's the best corpse thief in Duskfall. Don't care what anyone says. Pleasure doing business with him.
Yeah, and he's probably just like, of course, I was glad to help with science.
Of course.
Yeah.
How dare you? That was terrible.
You got tier -1 on your pun result there. So let's. So I think that's everybody's downtime activities cleared, or do you have one left there, Lex?
I could pay for one. Is there anything?
So what did you spend yours on? One was to
I bought Razor in action. I bought Razor some body parts.
no, yeah, but no, that was your coin. How many downtime activities do you have left? Because you spent one to talk to Lord Spurlock, right?
Yeah, yes, you're right. I still have one.
You have one left, yeah.
Yeah. What do we need to do? Or what else? Can I help in some capacity?
Maybe I can't do anything, but maybe you can rig the place, right? Now that we have the stuff. Is that what needs to happen? Or is that
might go
is that gonna
very
be
badly.
Well, I mean, on the upside, I would say that you don't need to acquire an asset to do that. I think that I don't think that would count as a downtime activity. That is something that anybody could do as an action roll because you don't need to spend one. So if you want Razor to rig the place with explosives, that's just going to be an action roll. You don't need to worry about spending a downtime activity to do that.
Please, I would hate to step on Razor's toes when it comes to their.
Is it Razor or
long-term project? But I don't really feel long-term project. I just feel action roll for that. I don't think it's serious enough. You've got the assets. You just need to do the job. So
yes.
You can do something else, Lex, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I would indeed hate to impede upon Razor's take away the pleasures in their life.
Yeah.
In that case, it makes sense to start taking advantage of Lord Skurlock's deal and at least become acquainted with our to be best friends on the entire planet.
Sure. So I believe this will be starting a long-term project to befriend the unseen.
Yes, that sounds like a great clock.
Yeah, so we'll say that is let's say you got the introduction, so that's going to be a big help. I think I'm feeling just like a 10-segment clock here.
Okay, cool. I'll
Yeah.
get rid of that one. Oh, shit.
Don't think you need to do multiple clocks to do this.
How do I delete it? Lock.
There's like a little lock button you press, and then you can press the red button to delete the thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Befriend unseen. 10 clock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, that's a lot of segments.
Yeah, it is a lot of segments. But they're tier 0, they're tier 4. Even with an introduction, I think this is going to be tough. At least you don't have multiple clocks to clear, so.
It's okay, I know what I'm fucking taking next. Which is you get them lead downtime actions.
Yeah, well, see, people say that the downtime activities in this game aren't meaningful, but I think they do become meaningful. It's like you just need to pressure the players enough, and it all becomes meaningful. So okay.
If this is stressing me out with my day job. My day job is pretty stressful.
Good. Lauren takes 3 stress from playing Blades of the Dark.
Yeah, and then I trauma out and become vicious.
Oh, no. It's just a game, Lauren. Some serious mazes and monsters shit going on.
I'm having a good time.
Okay, so let's take a break here because I want to read up on the unseen so I know who you're talking to.
Okay,
and also after the break, Ari, I want to talk about how you trauma out and what that looks like and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Looking forward to that too.
Okay.
I'm not looking forward to it, but it'll be fun.
I really should have used a downtime action to burn some stress, so I'm totally traumaing out today.
Yeah, absolutely. See, this is what happens when you go to war. It's like, oh, I kind of should have. No
time for fun. I have only science to do.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I will see you all in 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So be right back. Hello. So I realized something important over the break, which is that we said you were going to spend your downtime activity doing something for Lord Skurlock. So
yeah.
I'm going to give you an option here. You can either spend the downtime activity doing something for him, or you can sit out the next score because you're doing something for Lord Skurlock. Which would you rather do?
Do we have any inkling what our score is going to be?
I don't think so. Not at this point.
Oh, shoot. Am I letting know what Lord Skurlock is going to request of you before? Because if it's vicious, I'll do it.
But what I mean, of course you'll do it. You'll do it either way. But what are you? Well, are you going to do it during your downtime activity, or are you going to do it during the score?
I also have 1 coin left.
So you could get an extra downtime activity.
Yeah, I think that might be wise.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
I don't want to hog too much fallout.
No, I mean that's fine. So we'll first do the thing about talking to the unseen, because I think that is something that affects the whole crew. Or maybe we should do the opposite order. Yeah, we'll do the Lord Skurlock thing first, and then we'll do the unseen. So
yeah, that makes sense. I might be too messed up to go with the score anyway. So.
Yeah. So Lord Skurlock, what he wants is to obviously complete this project that he's working on, and which he has. So he has 2 long-term projects he's working on. He's working on obtaining arcane secrets and also working on fulfilling his debt to Satara. So you got a lot of progress from that last job that you did for him, in getting that debt fulfilled. So I think he has Chain Smasher. The next thing he probably needs is he needs to get a way, or he needs to know where it is that this seal is located in the bay. So I think there's probably somebody at the academy he wants to get information from.
Maybe like maritime charts.
Yeah, it would be like somebody who's studying occult shit would be like somebody who's studying the Forgotten Gods and stuff like that. Like this would be it's not just charts. It's also like stuff that people would just not know normally. I think this is like described in the section on Dustfall Academy.
Is this information Sully would have?
She would probably know who would know that, right? So that would help you. Academia, yeah. So I feel like this is probably somebody from Charter Hall University in the Moreland Hall of Unnatural Philosophy.
Sounds appropriate.
Yeah. The nexus of secret society spawning from the path of echoes, forgotten gods, and the ecstasy of the flesh, each of which vie for primacy within the halls of academia, as well as carry on their own cult activities in secret. Classes include spectral philosophy, introduction to modern metaphysics, and ethics in demonology.
That's funny.
Sounds like our kind of people.
Yeah.
So, cool.
So I think that, let's see, this is, what is it? The Path of Echoes. Is that a faction? I think.
Sounds factiony.
Yeah, it does. A mystery cult that borders on open rebellion against spirit laws. They revere the ancients and seek to gain knowledge from the past, including consorting with ghosts.
Oh, well, we have two things in common then. We both hate spirit laws.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they might be the closest thing. And...
Excellent. Well, I know my in.
Mm-hmm. Which is?
If you help us out, we're gonna fuck over the Spirit Wardens.
Yeah. I like
So
that.
let's go. Look, I'm doing him favors already. Look at me. I'm an upstanding employee.
Yeah, he's. I'm sure he'll be pleased with your performance.
To be honest, I find it quite offensive that he thought that my deal was not good enough, for that implies that I'm not good enough. And I will show him.
Gonna do the best job you can. Employee number 1.
Yeah, I want to see my my painting on his wall under employee of the month.
Employee of the month, Lex. Fuck. Is there not an entry on them in the book? Just gonna take a look here.
Take your time.
Well, I can't see them on the faction list we've got.
Oh. This is weird. I think their information is under advanced abilities and permissions. Is there anything else? Okay. So they're tier 3. Did they just like forget to include them in the list?
Oh dear.
Oh, looks like they did. Okay. Well, there is some information about them, so that's good. I don't think. Yeah, so I think this is probably not Lord Penderin himself, but somebody related to Lord Penderin, who is the head of the Path of Echoes. Okay. I'm just going to come up with a name for them, and then we'll do this.
Brian.
Yes.
I think that would be a good name. Just
Ryan.
I said Brian. Like,
Oh, Brian. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going, wait, what? Did I do something?
No, I was trying to think of what would be a great, a cult member name, like Brian, the
Dave.
unnatural philosopher. Dave,
But
yeah,
yeah.
Dave.
So this is Master Timoth Karstas. He is an investigator into spirits and demons of the sea.
I happen to know one of those.
Yeah.
How convenient.
And he works at Charter Hall University. University in the, what was it? The something of unnatural philosophy. And he's a member of the Path of Echoes. Okay, cool. Like it. All right, that's good. So we know what we need to know about this guy now. And what you need to do with your downtime activity will be to start a long-term project to get him to do stuff for you, to give you information. So how are you gonna approach this? What's your general approach to talking to Timoth?
Can I rely upon Lord Skurlock being a mutual contact? Like, Lord Skurlock see me, or does Lord Skurlock not have a
I feel like this guy's not acquainted with Lord Skurlock, because otherwise Lord Skurlock might have just gone and talked to him himself. It's probably like, oh, you know, I've heard about. It's probably like Lord Skurlock is banned from entering Charterhall University or something like that.
So I shouldn't be name dropping Lord Skurlock.
Depends on your company, but definitely not at the door. Don't tell like the security guard, like, oh, I'm here on business from Lord Skurlock.
Okay, cool. What does Lord Skurlock want me to do exactly? Just like get in good with him, or pick up something specific?
So what he wants you to do is to get information from Timoth on the location of the sea demons that Satara wants freed.
Sounds like I'm gonna be doing a lot of bullshitting. Okay, cool. So jeez. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go the full bullshit route of I'm considering taking on a post-grad position at the university. I have a specific interest in sea demons, actually, and would be much appreciative if I could have Dr. Costas's supervision on such a project, for I hear that he is the utmost expert in the matter.
Yeah, so I think it's like he is. What action are you using here?
Sway. Just
sway. So is it?
Or hang on, let me pull it up.
I mean, you tell me, but you know,
charm, logic, deception, disguise, or bluff.
Is all under sway.
It's all under sway. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. So okay.
I put on my most proper like tweed jacket and academic fineries.
Okay, so yeah, I think you pull up to Charterhall University and request a meeting with Assistant Professor Karstas, and go in there to his office. He's like, probably a young man. Maybe he's about like 28, something like that. Very, I think he's like very pale, and he sweats all the time. And he has like very like sort of like milky eyes. Yeah, and it's just like, you wish to enter Charterhall as my student? Why?
Well, I've always had a passion in the subject matter, and it's
Oh,
a shame
really?
that it took me this long to figure that out. Indeed.
Have you spent time at sea?
I've spent time on the sea in my own imagination. I've only read extensively about it. However, I've yet to undertake a practical exercise.
Oh, reading. Yes. Well, have you read Oakley's new book?
I think she smiles and she says, I sadly have not had the opportunity to read his latest works. However, I am somewhat familiar with his previous literature. What does he say in his new books? I'm curious.
Oh, well, perhaps. Well, have you studied the basic principles of demonology?
Ah, please, indeed.
Oh, I see.
I have a lot of practical experience with it, in fact.
Practical experience. Oh, uh, uh, really? With which powers have you conversed?
I think it's when she rolls up her sleeve
Yeah.
and then like to show off her ghost contract tattoos.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and he like runs his like sweaty hand over your arm, like up your arm, and is like, "Oh yes, very fine work."
Indeed, tis my
But not demonic. It is not demonic in nature.
oh
Did someone tell you it was demonic? Did you?
no,
Who did this for you? They're a charlatan.
I do apologize. I should have been more specific.
Yes, specificity is next to intelligence.
Indeed, I do apologize for misspeaking. For while these tattoos in nature are not necessarily demonic, they're of my own making.
Oh,
I have certain ties to demons, and
I
they're written upon
see.
my skin.
Oh, yes. Well, I understand if you do not wish to instantly divulge your sources, but if you become my student, you will introduce me to them.
Of course,
There
I would
are
be
certain
delighted.
regulations that the university requires that you will follow, but it can all be done in time once we get it through the ethics committee.
Those bastards.
Yes, of course, they don't understand.
No,
Just
indeed.
get in the way. Bothersome
You try and
pests.
submit.
The emperor sends them to meddle in our affairs. Academic independence is forgotten.
I'm glad we were of the same mind. You know, you try and submit one case study to them, and suddenly it's all unethical because it's not across a generalized population, but upon a specific target.
Well, I prefer to experiment upon a generalized population, but the Spirit Wardens are against such practices. In any case, so I'm going to get you to roll to see how you do with making friends with this guy, this goof.
I feel like I'm doing pretty well.
So let's say this is a 6-segment clock.
Awesome.
To get the information itself, let's say an 8-segment clock. Yeah,
Okay.
This is to do the whole thing. So yeah, let's say an 8-segment clock. So you're gonna roll with sway, and
Yes. I am bullshitting hardcore.
yeah.
This is not gonna come back and bite me in the butt whatsoever. Hang on. Okay. Oops, hang on. What have I done? Let me try that again. I apologize. Okay, there we go. I got
Okay.
a 5.
5. That's good. Okay, so you get 2 ticks on your clock,
Nicely done.
and you can spend coin
Thanks.
to increase your effect, but I believe you do not have any coin, right?
Not that I'm willing to spend, but that's okay because I understand that these things take time. One needs to do the appropriate literature reviews and get your thesis statement down and all that jazz. So I that's no problem.
Okay. Yeah, so let's like make sure we give this clock a name. So this will be acquire the location of Sitara's sea demons from Timoth.
Well, it fits. Cool.
Okay, cool.
I shake his hand, even though it is rather slimy, and then I hobble out of his office.
You're already slimed up because of his tattoo examination. So once in for a penny, in for a pound. Okay. So
I would. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, you know, on the way out, I need to say, like, thank you, Professor Costas. You look just as I imagined.
Assistant Professor, if you do not address me properly, there will be trouble from the other members of the faculty. They do not recognize my greatness.
No, it is a shame. For you're rather great.
You are a new student, but you will learn. These
I look forward
halls
to
have
it.
ears. Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about the unseen.
Oh yeah, jeez.
So you are going to, we'll say, you know, you travel with Lord Skurlock. You're in his coach. It's probably one of the electroplasmic coaches. No horses required. And you know, you're just traveling through the city, and he says, well, we'll be traveling to one of the finer parts of town. The unseen are unsavory individuals, but they do have their resources.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
I would like to see how it compares to the fineries of the university.
He says, the university. They're fools.
But they are very open with their foolishness. I'm making good progress with the assistant professor over there.
Oh, I'm sure you are. Just give them an opportunity to start speaking, and they will spout to no end.
I shall keep that in mind.
Yeah. See that you do. And then you pull up and you find yourself the coach pauses, and he produces from a bag a veil. Says, please wear this. It is better that you do not see any of our acquaintances. They do not like that.
I suppose, although I am remiss that I will not be smoking with this on.
Oh, well. Plenty of time for that later.
Indeed. I'll put on the veil.
Okay, so you put on this veil. It's like it completely obscures your vision. You can't see anything at all. It's like a blindfold, but it's fancy, so it doesn't look conspicuous. And you feel Lord Skurlock's cold hand on your wrist as he leads you out of the coach. And you move through a door. You move up some stairs. The sounds of the market outside fade away. And then you find yourself seated upon a chair, a soft plush chair. He puts you down on there. And you hear his voice. And he says, thank you for arranging this meeting on such short notice. It is a matter of some importance and pressing urgency. And you hear another man speak, and he says, who is this woman? And he says, oh, well, her standing is of no real significance, but her name is, sorry, what was your actual name?
Leonora, I think it's Eleanor Clump.
Eleanor Clump. Her name is Eleanor Clump, a associate of those entrepreneurial types to whom I provided the map of the Master Warden's manor. He says, "Oh, well, I've heard that you and your friends made good use of those maps. Master Warden is dead, isn't he?"
Indeed, so I hear. I was not fortunate enough to be on the score itself. However, I bear the consequences, which is why I'm here.
Yes, that's how these things work. Suppose you're the face.
Well, not at the moment, but on occasion. Making a joke about the facts. I'm cracking a joke.
Yeah, he just sort of snorts at that, and he's like, "Well, I guess you want something from us, right?
How astute. Indeed, that is why I'm here.
What do you want?"
I'm in no position to bargain, unless you're in the need for body parts. But
We make plenty of those.
I can imagine. But no, I'm here to discuss the power vacuum that was created after our endeavors to unleash an attack upon the Spirit Wardens. And I foresee there being some hopefully mutually beneficial rewards we could reap from filling that vacuum together.
And what do you bring to us?
This is where I'm at a loss, and I do apologize for not coming more prepared. However, you are rather hard to track down and harder still to find any information about. And so I come to you more or less on a bended knee, begging.
Bended knee. Well, I don't suppose you can help us infiltrate the Spirit Wardens. That seems far beyond your current capacities. But you are not from Doskval, are you?
Well, that is what the rumor is. I have grown up here all my life. However, some suspect I have more obscured backgrounds to my heritage. Perhaps they're right.
I see. But you grew up here.
Indeed. However, some suspect I have a. Is it Tycherosian? Is it the?
Yeah, Tycherosi, yeah.
People have often spoken about my mother's eyes being Tycherosian.
Talk. What about your associates? Do you have among your number anyone who is well connected outside of the city?
Out of character, do we? I don't know.
I would say the cart is. Anyone? Oh, well, maybe Razor.
Razor's not originally from Duskfall,
Yeah.
but who knows what she was up to before then.
Awesome. Then, yes. We're quite an eclectic, diverse mix of people, and I can vouch for their influence outside the city.
Good. This town is ours. Close enough, at least. The Wardens, well, they are an intrusion. They are meddlesome, sent by the Emperor. The Gondoliers, now, those are people that we could deal with. Those are people who would understand our point of view, but the Spirit Wardens, no, they're outsiders. And the best way for us to deal with outsiders is to extend our influence outside of the city.
Indeed.
So, tell me, where do your connections lie?
So we've got a Scotlander
Yeah,
have
and
a couple
well,
of
the
types.
Scotlander. So Cuckoo, you grew up here though, right? You didn't grow up in
Yeah.
Scotland, yeah.
No, I grew up here during the war.
Yeah, so it's like Tycheros, and also there was a city we specifically decided that Razor was from, right?
Oh, cool.
Because this was
Elysia,
connected
because
to
it sounds
the
way
painting.
too nice for Razor.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, like I said, maybe Razor is a black sheep. Maybe Razor comes from a family that's come on hard times.
And where's the cat, Mr. the Cat from?
Tycheros.
Tycheros. Oh, cool. Tycheros.
But that wouldn't be especially useful to them because, well, I mean, it could be. It's just that it's not part of the Empire.
Yeah, and I forget where Beetle
Ilsia was where
Yeah.
Razor was from. Yeah.
And again, I'm guessing Beetle and Lug. Crap, I forget where they're from.
Beetle and Lug are both from
They're
Dosval.
from Duskfall.
Yeah. So it'd probably be in Ilsia. You could get some influence, I guess. That'd be relevant.
No, I'll drop that. I'll say amongst our core coterie of most trusted crew members, we have folk from Tycheros and Ilsia.
Ilsia is a place where our influence is yet weak. We could use this to our advantage. And let's see how you roll. So this is a long-term project. What are you? I guess you're rolling with Sway, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or it could be consult, but I've got 2 pips in both, so I'm not.
I don't think you can consort with these people. They're not your friends.
And I was thinking more like consult, like drawing upon.
I mean, I'm sorry, I can't say that. You could do whatever the hell you want. That's how this game works.
No, I was trying to get
I cannot tell you which actions you can roll. That's not my ability. This is not Burning Wheel. I cannot do this. So I'm sorry.
No, it's really the language on consult. I thought it was a bit more like open, but it's not. It's consulting with friends and etc. So I'll
it would be extremely difficult for you to consort with them, is what I will say.
I hit that noise, so I don't know what I roll. I got a 6 and a 5. Not bad.
Oh, that's good. You got a 6. Okay,
Tremendous.
so you get that
Thanks,
is 3 ticks on your clock to befriend them.
Making so many motherfucking friends over here.
That's what happens when you're a spider, right?
Yeah. This is good. I feel like I'm doing the playbook justice.
Mhm.
I think that's finally all of my actions.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But-
So basically they say, well, you talk to your associates, see what you can do for us. If it's something substantial, then we'll talk some more.
Indeed, I do appreciate you taking the time to meet. I understand that you're rather busy people, and your time is valuable.
Of course. And you hear him say to Lord Skurlock, well then, take her away. And Lord Skurlock's cold hand grips you once again, takes you out into the this, it's called the Silver Market. You notice that you are now in Brightstone, which is like the richest part of town. Takes the veil off, and you get back into the carriage and head off. He says, well, my end of the bargain is complete. What you do with it is up to you. But of course, I will have further assignments for you.
Of course, and I look forward to them.
Excellent. I am glad to hear that we work towards mutual ends. This city is not long for this world. The unseen are fools. They think that holding this place means something. Do whatever you need to for them. It doesn't matter. They'll all drown in the end.
What does it mean to you?
What, the city? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
What does the city mean?
It was, yeah.
The city, it has its charms, but as I've said before to your associates, Satara is my closest relation, and my, well, she means a great deal to me, and she also provides me with life eternal. What is a city compared to that? Nothing.
Indeed, although
Won't
I
be the
imagine
first time that I do something drastic for her.
Are you fond of her?
On the good days, yes.
Oh, then I hope for your sake that there are many good days for.
Oh well, I sense a very good day indeed is coming. Then she will owe me, not the other way around.
Indeed, keep me apprised of this. This is I do not have the luxury of indulging in too many, theatre productions these days, and this is the closest I can get on a good day.
Says, yes, it will be a spectacle.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to it.
You're all the worst people.
Just trying to play it to being super ambitious, like, yes.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, like, okay, let's just kill everybody. Great.
Then Lucas will die finally, and then I.
Oh shit! But then you're gonna take 3 harm for your ghost contract with Lucas. You got to make sure that Lucas. You're gonna have to make sure that Lucas gets out of the city alive because otherwise.
I thought it was. Wait, what's the term? Sorry, what's the terms for a Lucas contract? I thought it was just that I couldn't I'm not killing him. Someone like Zatara is killing him.
You cannot knowingly work against him. Yeah. So you would this would break the terms. So you would have to find a way to rescue Lucas from the city being destroyed. Otherwise, he'd kill you.
Those contracts are more friggin' paid than they're worth.
It's a two-way street. Especially it's the worst. So what is it? Yeah, it's that awesome saying from Marx: between equal rights, force decides. Right. So if you have a contract made under duress, then even though it's an equal contract, it doesn't mean it's actually equal.
I guess at some point, just been a downtime action to write him a letter saying, "Just get the fuck out of town. Trust me on this one."
Yeah. That may be a good idea. So so that's all the downtime activities. Let's talk about the cart's trauma here. So you were in conversation with Laura Skurlock, and Satara was, of course, present. You helped out with that conversation. How do you think that led you to trauma out? Like, what trauma did you choose? I guess we can work from there.
Yeah, I wanted to choose the trauma that felt most appropriate to the fiction. So I'm going to go with unstable, because I think that Satara is trying to put me further into her power, making me unstable. It makes me easier to control.
Okay, so then what is the next trauma you're choosing?
The next one is going to be haunted after that.
Okay, so you're both unstable and haunted now.
Right, because I took too much stress. I took a trauma for that, and then a week goes by, and I take another one.
You take another trauma, yeah.
In that case, because what I was doing is I was thinking the haunted comes from the ghost
yes.
So maybe that one takes its hold finally.
Right. Oh, yeah. It's like you're leaving Lord Skurlock's manor, and then you find yourself wandering off the path and into Six Towers, and then we see in an alleyway, Insight appears with a spear in her hand, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Maybe I start seeing that around, I see somebody holding a spear, but they're not, start getting to me.
Yeah. It's they're tormenting you before they come to kill you.
Right. And then the unstable is personality changes in the card from just being possessed.
All right. So how do you think that manifests for the card? Where does the instability come in?
Yeah, he's very possessed of himself.
Yeah.
to this point. Very composed and very deliberate in his actions. I think now he's going to be more impulsive, more temperamental. Like, get away from me. Things like that.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read these so we have something to work with, because there's the particular descriptions.
Yeah, like I never thought of the card as someone who's going and just becoming filled with rage, but that could be something.
Yeah,
that starts
you can instantly rage or fall into despair, act impulsively, or freeze up.
Yeah. Maybe all of those.
Yeah, like, because it's like your personality is fading away, right? Like Satara is taking control of you. Like it's like that fear that comes with like dementia, right? Where you feel like you're losing yourself, because you actually are. Like Satara is just basically eating your soul.
Right.
Yeah, cool. I like it. All right, so
yeah, so I'll mark those both.
Here is the thing. I think where I'm at right now is I probably want to end the session here instead of going into a score, because it's like 10 p.m. and maybe I want to be able to get enough sleep for work tomorrow instead of last time where we just like went like till midnight, and that was a lot. So I kind of feel like, next session we'll come in with just doing the score, right? Like we'll start with the score, and we'll like talk about in the meantime like what that score might be, what your crew might want to do, or who might offer you a job, right? That's also a possibility. Cool. So let's do the end of session, I guess. Yeah, do end of session stuff. Advancement, I think is under.
A lot of pieces got put into place this session.
Yeah. 40.
I think I have plans next Thursday, so I spent that coin doing an extra downtime action for nothing.
Well, no, because didn't you? I mean, the thing is, this is time sensitive, right? Like.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I might cancel my plans next Thursday. But like, no, I've got some really serious like things I need to take care of.
It's like, I've got commitment. This job is really pressing. It's like, the Silkworms. Oh no.
What'll they do without me? No, you guys will be fine. I feel bad. I come in like you guys have lots of fun, and then I come in and I'm like, no fun for you guys. We're gonna deal with the problems we've got going on.
It's okay if they didn't do that, they just all die. So
I mean, what would you clean up if we didn't get up to nonsense when you were out?
Yeah, exactly.
We know that you like needled.
I'm just glad I have Brendan here to be like the other parent. I feel like we're the two.
Yeah, I think Brendan is gonna maybe have to guide the crew next time.
Well, and I was saying a couple sessions ago that like the cart was acting like a surrogate adult, but that's out the window now. So
it's gonna. Yeah, well, you can try.
Running
See what happens with that.
Brendan, I trust you.
And that's your first mistake.
Yeah, it's like, do we really want to trust Cuckoo? But hey, maybe if their own. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
I feel like Cuckoo is one of the characters least likely to go along with the plan of killing everyone in Doskville. But hey, I mean, maybe if you got your daughter out, you'd feel okay. But yeah, it's hard to say. I don't think you're quite in on Lord Skurlock's plans yet, right?
No.
Yeah.
But I would gladly sell out everyone in the gang for extra cash for my daughter.
Aww.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's for a good cause.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
That's the sweetest treachery ever.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's good. So let's talk about crew advancement. So your crew specific XP trigger, you did not do because you did not do a score. So that's fine. Contend with challenges above your current station. I think you definitely did that. Are we thinking 2 XP or 1 XP there?
I think everything we did this session was above our current station because we're 0.
Yeah.
0. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, like I think those acquire asset rolls you made were like rough. So yeah, let's say 2 XP there.
Which gives us an advancement. Woo.
Yay.
Nice. Ooh, you better pick well. You're gonna isn't it like you? Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Or gives us another thing.
Yeah. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. Your crew's reputation is weird. Do you think you bolstered that, or did you develop a new one?
Kind of push in the weird direction, deals with vampires and demonologists.
And the unseen.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, I'm feeling like 1 there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. Did we see that?
I feel like everything we did this session was counter to all the conflicts that happened last time.
But this is inner conflict, not external conflict.
Yeah.
Inner conflict. What's
Well,
I mean, our thing is about obtaining things and obtaining information.
right? Yes. And I feel like your drive might just be to survive at this point, right?
Yeah, I know.
totally.
Yeah.
I feel like that probably is like a 2 XP because you definitely push that, right?
Didn't have a choice. If you want to push to survive, you got it.
Okay, and you get so you got an advancement. So you get every PC gets stash equal to the crew's tier +2, which unfortunately is 0 right now. So you're going to get 2 coin in your stash from advancing.
2 coin for the crew stash.
No, it goes into your each PC gets stash equal to crew. So this is not your cash on hand. This is in your like retirement fund stash thing.
Oh, cool. Okay. Got it.
Yep. And your advancement, personal advancement. So let's take a look at the cart. So did you make any desperate action rolls?
No.
No. Okay. Of course not, because it's possible you could have, but we didn't. Did you hit your playbook specific XP trigger?
Let's see. Does address a challenge with knowledge or arcane power? No.
Don't think so. No, you didn't do too much this session because you traumaed out.
Yeah, I did do belief drives heritage or background.
Yes, I agree with that. Absolutely. Struggle with vice or trauma, I would say that also hits. So maybe an XP for both of those.
So 1 each.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty reasonable.
Well, you got 2 trauma. That's pretty harsh.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so let's say 3 XP. Yeah, you got 2 trauma, so yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'm 1 point away from playbook advancement.
Nice, cool. All right, so Brendan, did you make any desperate action rolls?
No, all my rolls were tier rolls.
Okay, and did you hit your playbook specific XP trigger? What is it?
Calculation or conspiracy?
I think so.
I feel calculation.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
whole setting up the place to blow. That's totally
Yeah,
like calculated.
totally. I totally think you hit that. So let's say, so you had 2 actions, one of which was with your vice. So I'm going to say 1 XP there.
Cool.
Express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I definitely give you 1 for dealing with your daughter because we learned about your daughter this time. So that would be 1 at least. Is there anything else you think hit that?
No, I don't really think so.
Is
Okay.
Goblin just violent or prone to wanting to blow things up?
No, well, Yes, maybe. But we haven't established that yet. So I feel 1 there. And vice or trauma, you overindulged.
Yeah,
so
overindulged.
definitely. I feel 2 there, maybe, because you
2.
overindulged. So that's 4 XP total.
Cool.
And you can spend that however you like.
Yes.
Okay. Lauren, did you make any desperate action rolls?
I did not.
And did you do your playbook specific XP trigger?
I think I did. There was challenge. Address a challenge with calculation and conspiracy.
totally.
I feel like
I'd say
sparkly
two for that.
dice.
Definitely 2. You express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I definitely say your background you expressed here. And
Yeah. And then struggled with issues from vice or traumas during the session. I was trying to play into like the whole that
vicious.
Yeah, viciousness. Basically, like, yeah, I'll take the harshest contract with Lord Skurlock, just whatever gets me what I need the fastest. But I don't care what I have to do, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I would say you get 2 XP for that, and then 1 XP for your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Awesome.
So a total of 5.
Sounds good.
Razor.
Yes.
What are you thinking there, Ryan? Did you hit your playbook specific XP trigger?
I feel like I was all over that every time Razor was on screen because it was all technical skill with the goal of mayhem.
Totally.
So.
Yeah, I'd say it's 2 XP. Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I feel like you definitely hit your background. Your background, because like of the whole the whole corpse dealer thing. So I feel at least a 1 there. How are other people feeling about that?
So what's the question?
Yeah.
Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background for Razor.
Did I push that hard enough for a 2, or is it just a 1?
Is a 1 or a 2? What do you think?
Appeal to our legal counsel.
Yeah. I mean, I think your heritage came up because of the negotiations with the Unseen. We're gonna see in later sessions whether you. So, like, what I'm thinking here is like Lex is probably going to try to convince Razor to go to Ilcia and do this shit, right? So, like, you might, if you choose to do that, then you would end up playing a different character for a little while Razor is out doing their thing. And it may be a convenient opportunity to get the hell out of Doskval. So, you know.
Or it turns out that Razor left Elysia
for a good reason. Yeah.
Torches and pitchforks or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I think like we're going to get into that more. So I'd say 2 XP there just because it came up, right? You weren't in the scene, but it still came up. And issues with vice or trauma.
Not this time around.
You didn't get that stress, did you? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I was fully expecting a trauma out this session, and I skated by for now.
Nice. Cool. Okay, so let's do some stars and wishes. Some stars. So why don't we start with Ari? What do you have a star for this session?
Oh, that professor was so funny. Such a goofball. I'm gonna give you this star for this one. I want to give Lauren a star for just carrying this thing and like cleaning up our mess. If you allow me to cheat a little bit, she mopped up all the garbage that we strewn everywhere last session.
I don't think I've done anything yet.
Working on it.
You put all the chess pieces in place. Now we just gotta advance.
Yeah. All right. So Brendan, do you have a star for somebody?
I'm going to back up what Ari said, and you definitely get a star for the NPC characterization in this session.
Okay.
I found everyone quite vivid.
Good.
And my other stars gone both to Lauren and Ari for further encouraging possession.
Yes. Yeah, definitely playing into the occult. I wonder how long it is until this crew becomes a cult.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because yeah, I mean, I could totally see this crew becoming a cult of Satara. It's yeah, it's
It makes sense.
It's a distinct possibility.
Let's
Yeah.
drown the city.
Yeah. All right. Yes, and Lauren, do you have a star?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be chief and second 24/7 of your NPCs, Kyle. Like, you're always a pleasure to do. Like, I always look forward to the free like roleplay sessions scenes with you because I know it's going to be fun. So
This
thanks.
is the best part of downtime is the free play.
Yeah. Like I enjoyed all the mini scenes I had. And I want to give like a plethora of stars to my like teammates because it was cool talking about all the plans we were gonna do to like get out of the situation, and it was fun seeing like all the different like parallel plans come into play with getting explosives and like talking to Skylark, and you guys are great. Thank you for all of your hard work and stuff to get out of the situation.
Yeah. And Ryan, do you have a star?
Everybody steal it by stars. But I was gonna say that I loved the assistant professor, not just full professor. Well, like hated / loved. He was wonderful, and yes. But also star for the spiders desperately trying to clean up our mess by diving headlong into it. That was great.
Yes, totally. Yeah, the assistant professor thing comes from.
Yes, the term I'm looking for is unfuck. But yes,
Yeah,
and I love that. Over the week, I was going, I think that Razor is. I mean, I still want to play with the group, but Razor is at least partially going, okay, so I move my stuff over here, and then I blow this up, and then I get out of town.
Yeah.
I like that everyone is on the same page. So
good. Yeah, no, I'm glad that you, like, three of you all came to the let's blow up our hideout plan. That was pretty fantastic. So yeah, no, yeah, the assistant professor thing came from like my friend. Like, I remember he went to Oxford as like to visit there and talk to some of the faculty, and they were just like so anal about their titles. And, like that was totally where that came from. Yeah, but anyway, my stars. Yeah, so I'm gonna give a star to Blades of the Dark for making these downtime activity economies meaningful. Like, I think going to war feels really weighty, right? Like, it was like, oh shit, like we're at war. We don't have enough resources to actually take care of our stress. There's like so much bearing down on us. We desperately need to do something to deal with this situation. So props to the setting and the game for making that intense. That was awesome. I think that mechanic actually works. Also stars. I mean, so much has been mentioned already, but yeah, I think I'm definitely going to give a star to Brendan for, like, jumping into this game again. I feel like after so many sessions, it would be easy to say, like, oh, there's too much established fiction. I don't want to jump into this. It's too intimidating or whatever. But like you definitely rolled with the punches there and got your character up to speed, and I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. So wishes. Let's start with. I guess I can start just to take the load off the rest of you, give you some time to think. So I think wishes. I wish that we I wish that we can come up with an interesting score next session. I want to see something that's like plausible, but also like is actually helping you to survive. That's something I want to see. Like whether it's just like, oh shit, we spent all of our coin, like we desperately need some resources, or we're not going to be able to survive, right? Because you're taxed so much more in the downtime phase to actually spend coin in order to get extra activities. Your tier is down, so you're spending coin just to increase the quality of your acquired assets, and so on and so on. Yeah, so I want to see something that like will play to the characters and make sense in the fiction when you know that like the sword of Damocles is hanging over your necks, but you're like, we desperately need to do something in order to keep our heads above water. That's something that's something that I want to see going forward. So Ryan, do you have a wish?
Man, it feels cheap to say that. I want to see how this all turns out, because obviously that's the point of continuing to play the game. But
play to find out what happens.
I want to see more of the cart, and now Lex as well, dealing with the fact that they're just barreling on ahead with demon possession. and I suppose I want to see what we do once we blow our base, and how the system accounts for that. Like, do we get a new layer? Do we have no layer at all for a while?
You lose all the benefits associated with your layer.
Not even the boat?
Yeah, you lose the boat. And you basically have to do a long-term project to get a new layer. Yeah, so that's
I guess it's a good thing we don't live there then.
It is a good thing you don't live there. Yeah, you still have somewhere to live. That's nice. Yeah. Cool. Lauren, do you have a wish?
Yeah, I mean, Star Wish, Brendan. Oh my god, like I felt lost and I missed one session. So like, yeah, super stoked to you for picking up this story, having missed a couple of sessions. And then in terms of like wishes. I want to see more of everyone else. I feel like I took so much of the spotlight this session. I hope it was interesting. / I apologize. So yeah, I want to see more of. I wish to see more of Zatara's demon possession. I wish to see more of Razor blowing stuff up and their backstory. What's going to happen with them if they go back to their home? I'm curious to see what their thoughts on that for sure. And yeah, I want to see Cuckoo grappling with his daughter and like the town blowing up. Like there's so much personal stakes happening right now, and I really want to see those come to a head. I think that'll be fun. And then a wish for Lex is I would be curious to see more of how she gets embroiled in the politics of the unseen and the university and Lord Skurlock. I feel like she's just got so many clocks going on. She's gonna run out of time, kind of thing.
So many things to deal with, right?
But yeah. I did take calculating, so at least I've got an extra downtime action to try and manage all of these clocks. So
nice, that's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
And I mean, the thing is, like, if you are playing in this session and you take up more sort of screen time, it's because you're playing as a spider and you're playing your playbook. And in an actual score, we probably won't see as much of you because you're kind of a downtime character, right? Yeah, so that makes sense, but.
Okay, I'll stop feeling bad then.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I'm the one who's supposed to do the spotlighting, so don't worry about it. That's on me.
I was enjoying that anyway. Like, I didn't feel like for me personally, I didn't feel like I was waiting on playing my character. I was really interested to see what you were going to pull out of there.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think for me, the highlight was for sure, like, the chat with the assistant professor. That was fun. I was like, how am I going to bullshit through not knowing anything about demonology?
I'm looking forward to you talking to him again.
And then Kyle,
True
as much as you were relying upon like your academia, I was like going back to my postgrad days, going, "What did I do when I hadn't done the reading?" And then Chris was like, "Can you please explain this reading to me?" And then trying to go like, "Oh yeah, like we rely upon all these generalities and not answer the question."
Yeah, it's the companion skill to soothing platitudes, vague generalities.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those are all my wishes.
Okay, Brendan, do you have wishes?
Okay, so I want to see the base blow up.
Mhm.
I want to see us replace it with an airship base, and then I want to see us flood the city with
Yep.
demons and water, and just turn this into an apocalypse world game, basically.
Yeah, like that's where we stop playing Blades in the Dark and we start playing Apocalypse World, right?
I guess or we can destroy Duskfall and then move to another city and just start over again.
Yeah,
Destroy the entire continent.
It's also possible. Although the thing is that Lord Skurlock would then be out of his debt. So I mean, but maybe Satara would, if you become a Satara cult, then that could totally work. Because isn't there like a fantasy hack of Apocalypse World that Vincent Baker made? Yeah, I could totally see that working for this setting. Yeah, that'd be fun. Cool. Yeah, I like it. And Ari, do you have any wishes?
Yeah, I'd like to see that cat hole get done before the base is blown up. If it's possible.
That's totally gonna be a thing. Is like, I definitely want to see a fortune roll out of Razor to see like how you like store and preserve the cat hole when you are leaving the base, because I could see you losing all your progress on that project because of blowing up the base, right? It's
as long as I still have the plans. I haven't lost all of my progress.
True. You will have the plans. Yeah, that's trivial to have. So yeah, nice.
Yeah, and my my other wish is just I hope that Cart can contribute to the team before he traumas out. And I don't even know like what's gonna happen to him once he hit that fourth trauma.
Well, won't you'll basically play as a vampire then, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
that's the idea.
So you'd essentially have to play as like Cart, like you'd have to play as like Satara's pawn, basically, right? Because it's not like Satara's directly possessing you, but like she would like you'd just be like a pawn of her. Yeah. So that could be interesting, or we could just change that character into an NPC, and you could play somebody else, and there would be a vampire in the crew just being like, "Oh, hey, I'm Satara's."
I wouldn't want to pass up playing a vampire. That's just too damn cool.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yes, Lauren can speak from experience, having played a vampire in the other game. Cool. So I guess that's it for this session. I'll stop the broadcast here. Thanks for watching, if you did. And we'll have another episode next week. And we'll see how much of that clock of the Spirit Wardens coming down on the crew gets filled. So see you then. All right, that's it. It's the end of the session.